Can I just ask on that topic? I mean, I've actually referenced this on the show before we've had this conversation. You played 2 matches in a day. Well, you're part of 2 teams in one day, competitive football, for Wales against Czechoslovakia, and then in a cup replay for Bayern Munich. And we talk about fixture congestion now. I mean, that's just... Can you imagine that happening in the present day? A player, Pogba, playing for France and United in the same day.
No, I couldn't imagine. I don't think it would be able to happen anyway, because international week, there wouldn't have been games on anyway. So how it came about, and I mean, the background was I was playing for Wales in Czechoslovakia, 1 o'clock kickoff, I think, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock kickoff or whatever. And Bayern Munich, who were my club at the time, were playing a cup game that same evening. And I had a conversation with Uli Hoeneß because I had a meal with him. I think I'd only played 1 game for Bayern Munich. And I was actually foul-bound. I was supposed to join up with the international squad, but I couldn't get out of Munich. So I had a dinner with Uli Hoeneß at his home. And just in conversation, he asked me when the Welsh game was. I told him it was in the afternoon. And then all of a sudden I saw a light bulb in his mind go off. And he says, "Oh, right, there's a possibility you can play for us as well at the night time." And apparently he'd done the same to another player. I don't know if you remember Søren Lerby. He was a great player for a long time. Played for Denmark and for Bayern Munich, and was a top player in those days. And he actually flew from Ireland from memory and played in the same day. So I don't think it's happened on too many occasions, and I can understand why, because I don't recommend it to anybody. I came back, actually got back for half-time, and about 10 minutes in, we were losing either 1-0 or 2-1. So I got back, and they put me on in the second half, and we won the game. And I'd like to say that I was the major influence, but far from it. I actually came on with Michael Rummenigge, double substitution, and he came on alongside me. I didn't kick the ball. He scored 2 goals, but I got all the headlines. But it was nothing to do with me. I couldn't run at all. But I was absolutely shattered.
Did you win with Wales as well?
Unfortunately not. It was a key game as well. It was a playoff game, and we got beaten. But
okay.
Well, not to worry.
Can't win them all, I guess. I mean, Gary, Mark Hughes is made of different set of minerals to the rest of the human race, because to do that, I can't even imagine it. A professional game, 2 back-to-back on the same day. I mean, was he that hard to mark? I did promise I'll ask you that.
Well, I think everybody who played against Mark knew that they were in for a difficult afternoon. You know, physically strong, but technically very good. Could hold the ball up, could score a goal, and looked after himself on the pitch as well. So, you know, it's quite difficult praising somebody when they're sat on my screen looking at me. But you know, I have only praise for him. You know, before we went on air, I said to Mark, you know, what a fantastic career he had and has, not only as a player, something like 20 seasons as a professional, and he's done something like 20 seasons as a manager in international and club football as well. So he's had a phenomenal career. There's no 2 ways about it. I can't beat that story. I can remember playing 2 games for Brighton in consecutive days. We played it away against Leicester. It was Christmas time. And then the very next day, we played home against Crystal Palace. So, you know, 2 lots of 90 minutes in 2 days. I can't remember the teams, but exactly the same thing happened at Spurs. But I guess Mark would possibly remember back in those days, Mark, we did occasionally play back-to-back games in 2 days, didn't we?
Yeah, well, I probably played the same weekend you were playing, Gary, because I seem to recall, I think we played Liverpool at Old Trafford on the Sunday, and then we're expected to go to Sunderland and play on the Monday. And I think it was around Christmas time or something, just because of how the days and the dates and the fixture fell that year. And we won the so-called big game against Liverpool, and unfortunately slipped up against Sunderland because we were playing 2 games in 2 days, which was ridiculous, and it wouldn't happen anymore. But different times, different decisions that we had to abide by, unfortunately.
We've got to move on. Thank goodness there was no VAR in those days, Mark. I do remember a couple of your challenges.
Well, I don't think I would have had a career if I was starting out now on the spread that way.
Gary was blessed. He could pass it back to the keeper and he could still pick it up at the time if he was under pressure. But somewhere...
Mark played in them days as well,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But